Breaking news! Once again, the NFL has dropped a bombshell on the Pittsburgh Steelers, and fans everywhere are stunned. Not by injuries, not by trades, but by something far more frustrating: the 2025 schedule. At first glance, it might look like any other NFL slate, but when you dig into the details, it becomes crystal clear that Pittsburgh isn't just facing tough opponents. They're being lined up like sitting ducks in a gauntlet of rest disadvantages, cross-country travel, and crucial short-week showdowns. But before we break this all down, make sure you've already hit that like button if you're a true Steelers fan. It's always great to see fans of all ages joining the community. If you're feeling that black and gold pride, drop a comment saying, "Go Steelers!" Let's dive straight into what can only be described as an orchestrated uphill battle for the Steelers in 2025. The Pittsburgh Steelers are entering the season with the 9th toughest schedule in the NFL based on expected win totals of their opponents. That alone is no small challenge. But it's not just the toughness of the opponents. It's how the matchups are structured. The NFL has set them up for a brutal second half of the year that may once again force the Steelers to sprint out of the gate if they hope to stay afloat by December. The early part of the schedule gives fans a glimmer of hope. Out of their first 6 games, several are not only winnable but potentially statement games. Week 1 brings a road game against the New York Jets, a team in transition with a brand new head coach. That's followed by a home opener against the Seattle Seahawks, whose quarterback Sam Darnold has a reputation for folding under pressure, something Pittsburgh's fearsome pass rush can absolutely exploit. Week 3 sees them heading to Foxborough to face the Patriots under their new head coach with second-year QB Drake May. It's a game with plenty of unknowns. Then comes the highly anticipated Week 4 clash in Dublin against the Minnesota Vikings. Thanks to Pittsburgh's massive Irish fan base, that neutral site could feel a lot more like a Steelers home game. After that, they get a Week 5 bye, something Mike Tomlin historically uses to his advantage, and then a crucial home matchup against the Cleveland Browns in Week 6. But from there, the schedule goes from manageable to merciless. Beginning in Week 7, the Steelers embark on a stretch that pits them against a relentless sequence of teams with rest advantages and travel demands. That week, they face the Cincinnati Bengals on the road, and it's a short week, a recipe for disaster. In Week 10, they make a grueling trip to the West Coast for a night game against the physically punishing Los Angeles Chargers. 1 week later, in Week 11, they return home only to face the Bengals again, this time with Cincinnati coming off a bye, giving them a full extra week to prepare. Weeks 13 and 14, arguably the worst part of the entire schedule. Pittsburgh has a 3-day rest disadvantage against 2 of the NFL's top-tier contenders. First the Buffalo Bills, then the Baltimore Ravens. Yes, back-to-back weeks of being out-rested and out-prepared against teams with legitimate Super Bowl ambitions. These games aren't just tough, they could be season-defining. And just when you think it couldn't get worse, Week 16 has the Steelers traveling to Detroit to face the Lions after playing on Monday Night Football. Yet another short week, and yet another road game. That's a 1-day rest disadvantage against a team many are calling a sleeper Super Bowl contender in 2025. In fact, through all 17 weeks, Pittsburgh only gets 1 game, yes, 1, where they have a rest advantage. Week 8 against the Green Bay Packers. Coming off a Thursday night game the previous week, the Steelers will have 3 extra days to prepare for that Sunday Night Football matchup. That's it, 1 out of 17.
According to composite metrics, the Steelers rank tied for 8th worst in the league with a net rest disadvantage of -4. That means more often than not, their opponents will be fresher, better rested, and potentially better prepared for game day. It's a small number with big consequences, especially in a league where margins are razor thin and late-season momentum often makes or breaks playoff dreams. The NFL schedule makers have effectively built a season that demands perfection early and resilience late. Even with projected upgrades, like potentially landing Aaron Rodgers as starting quarterback and strengthening the wide receiver core, the path remains perilous. A hot start is not optional. It's essential. With the NFL seemingly stacking the deck against them again, what do you think, Steelers Nation? Is this just bad luck or something more deliberate? Is the league really screwing the Steelers once again? Let me know what you think in the comments. We left off at the reality that the Steelers have been saddled with the worst kind of scheduling quirks, ones that don't show up in the win-loss columns until bodies start breaking down and momentum starts slipping. The net rest disadvantage of -4 isn't just a stat, it's a direct indicator of how often Mike Tomlin's squad will be fighting uphill battles every single week after their bye. And if you're wondering whether this is a trend, yes, it is. For the second straight season, the Steelers find themselves in the lower tier of rest equity. This isn't a one-off oversight by the NFL. It's a pattern. From weeks 10 to 16, the Steelers are locked into a high-wire act that few teams would envy, and it all hinges on how deep and durable their roster really is. Let's break that stretch down game by game. After a 7-1 dream start, yes, the optimistic projection assuming Aaron Rodgers is leading the charge, the wheels start to wobble. Week 10, a trip to Los Angeles to face a Chargers team known for its physicality, especially up front. It's not just the late kickoff and travel fatigue. It's the toll of facing Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack, and that heavy-hitting front four when your own team is in a physically vulnerable moment in the season. Then, just 6 days later, Week 11 brings Joe Burrow and the Bengals to Acrisure Stadium, fresh off their bye. The Bengals will be healthier, sharper, and with an extra week of film study on how to exploit the Steelers. That matchup might sting even more if Pittsburgh dropped the first contest back in Week 7, on the road. Week 12 offers a brief sigh of relief, the Chicago Bears. But this isn't just any game, it's Soldier Field. And if Aaron Rodgers is indeed under center, expect this one to be personal. Rodgers has famously owned the Bears throughout his career, and he'll be expected to keep that tradition alive in a game that could serve as a critical win to stabilize the Steelers' playoff hopes. But then comes the real crucible, Weeks 13 and 14. First, Buffalo. Then, Baltimore, both on short rest, both with the opponent having a full 3-day advantage. These aren't just contenders. These are teams loaded with top-tier coaching and elite quarterback play, and they'll be getting a head start on recovery, strategy, and physical readiness. Meanwhile, the Steelers will be staggering from the cumulative toll of the prior weeks. Think about this. It's not just playing the Bills and Ravens that's tough. It's playing them under physically compromised conditions. This isn't theoretical. This is science. Studies show that even a single rest disadvantage week can increase injury risk and reduce execution efficiency. The Steelers have 2 of those back-to-back against powerhouses. Week 15 presents a glimmer of hope. A Monday night home game against the Miami Dolphins. Cold weather Pittsburgh versus a warm weather finesse team like Miami? Advantage Steelers. This is one of those circle the calendar games where the conditions might finally favor the black and gold. But the joy is short-lived. Week 16, Detroit. On the road. Coming off a short week, the Lions are no joke. A physically aggressive team with an underrated defense and a top-tier offensive line. And in their dome, they're fast. Very fast. Another game where Pittsburgh will be chasing the clock and the scoreboard with less time to prepare. But if that scenario falls through, if Rodgers doesn't come, or if injuries start piling up as early as October, then all bets are off. This 2025 Steelers team, on paper, looks like a fringe Super Bowl contender. But the schedule? It's more suited to break champions than build them. And that's the dilemma. We know this defense can dominate. We know Tomlin can coach. We know players like TJ Watt, Minkah Fitzpatrick, and Cam Hayward, if healthy, can change games. But will they have anything left to give by December? Now, I want to hear from you. With all these rest disadvantages and high-stakes games stacked together, do you believe the Steelers can truly push through to an 11-win season? Or is this schedule going to be the thing that finally knocks them off balance? Drop your predictions in the comments, and make sure you like this video if you're fired up about this 2025 campaign. Subscribe for more updates, because we're going to be breaking this season down every step of the way. Click on one of these videos on your screen now to keep the conversation going.